How do you identify or what approach that you use to just, connect with the right people that is kind of worthwhile for you or that's gonna enhance your business? How do you determine that?
Well, the first thing I determine is, do I know the person
Mm-hmm.
before I actually accept the connection request? The second thing I do is, if I don't know the person, if I know the person, I'll accept their connection request. If I don't know the person, then I determine, can they do business with me? Are they a potential client?
Mm-hmm.
If they could do business with me, great, I connect with them. If they can't do business with me, I figure out, okay, are they a fan of my content? Do they like and comment? Are they engaged on LinkedIn? If they yes, then I connect with them. If I can't do business with them, they're not a fan of my content. I don't think they could refer business to me.
This is a Real Estate Vibe Show, and I'm your host, Vinki Loomba, a commercial real estate investor. And today I have a very special guest, my good friend Joe Apfelbaum with me. Welcome to the Real Estate Vibe Show, Joe.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here and share some insights.
So a little bit about Joe. Joe is a CEO of Ajax Union, a B2B digital marketing agency. He's a business strategist, marketing expert, AI consultant, and certified Google trainer. Joe is also author of 5 books, and his latest release is called High Energy Marketing. You can see that in his background. When he's not motivating entrepreneurs at events or on LinkedIn, he's enjoying his time with his 5 kids. Awesome. Love that. And welcome again, Joe. I'm super excited to have you with me today because our topic is super awesome, super catchy. It's about magnetizing your LinkedIn strategies to attract your ideal client. So I'm going to ask you this. How crucial is it to optimize your LinkedIn profile to attract your ideal client? Let's start from there.
I always tell people that optimizing your profile on LinkedIn is more important than optimizing your website, because they say your network, especially if you're in real estate, your network is your net worth. And so where is your network? Your network's not going to your website. Your network is checking out your LinkedIn profile. That's where your network is. Your network is online on social media sites. So making sure that you have an optimized profile, you have the right photo, the right background photo, the right headline, the right about section, the right amount of recommendations, that you're posting on a regular basis. If you're doing all the right things on LinkedIn, you're much more likely to be successful. A lot of people, they just set it and forget it. But your profile is not there for you to set and forget. It's for you to optimize on a regular basis. We teach our students the 20 different things they can do on their profile to optimize their profile. But making sure that your profile is up to date is really important.
I love that. You say it should be dynamic, not something static. You just did it one time, the profile update, and forget it. So you said you teach 20 steps to your students. So can you share a couple with us in this optimization, so how we can boost our profiles?
Yeah, for example, people don't have a photo on their profile. A lot of people, they basically just have their logo instead because they don't want to share their face. I see that you do have your photo on your profile, which is great. Most people don't, or they have a photo of them at a wedding with their like X cut out of the picture. That's not the best type of photo for LinkedIn. You want to get professional headshots. I actually have a LinkedIn article where I show you how I uploaded 20 selfies of myself to an AI photographer, and then it made me beautiful headshots of me, AI headshots of me in a suit and in many different ways, very professional. So what I always tell people is make sure that you have a really good photo. Also, you can use Canva. There's a tool called Canva, Canva, where you can create professional background photos for your LinkedIn profile. If you just go into Canva and you type in LinkedIn as under their templates, you're going to see they have thousands and thousands of templates that you could use. And then making sure that when you're updating your about section, we have an AI tool called Evie AI, which helps you optimize your LinkedIn profile. So we suggest a headline and we basically rewrite your whole about section into different parts to it. And another thing that you want to consider doing is getting recommendations. So most people don't have any recommendations on LinkedIn. Recommendations are social proof. They're like testimonials from people on your profile. So So if we're connected on LinkedIn, I can go to your profile. I can give you a thumbs up for a particular skill, which is an endorsement, or I can leave you a recommendation. I see the last time you got a recommendation was in 2022, which is not that long ago. But some people haven't gotten recommendations in 10 years, or they never got any recommendations. So I right away go and look to see if somebody has recommendations, to see if they're like a scammer or they're a real person. So definitely doing that is very, very helpful.
I love that. You said the picture is very important, has to be a professional looking picture, professional background, and also the recommendations, and then the skill set that people are endorsing you. All those are the key elements to optimize your LinkedIn profile. But when you said, use some AI tool like that you can use to create your title or the description about yourself and add that, shouldn't that be like more personalized, that coming from the person to reflect who they are? Because I just feel like I connect with people who are like really, really truthful about themselves, because this is like not super professional wording. It's like as a speaking language, they're putting themselves out and just like a little bit of emotion attached to it.
It all depends on your own style and what you're trying to portray as your personal brand. But most people don't even have anything there. So at least put something there rather than nothing. But, you can decide if you want to do first person, if you want to do third person when you're updating your profile. It doesn't really matter which one you do. It just matters that whatever you do, that everything is spelled correctly and that it's professional and that it talks about you and it includes your target market in mind. So depending on who your target market is, making sure that you're considering them and that you have call to action. You want people to do something. So yeah, you can use simple language if the people that you connect with, typically your target market, uses simple language. If you're connecting more with professional lawyers and people that have degrees, you might want to have something a little more professional, more polished. It all depends on what you're looking for, but AI can help you put it in any tone. Our tool allows you to choose a professional tone. It allows you to change the tone around based on what you're looking for. And you could also write a custom prompt that will help you be able to write whatever tone you want. So my recommendation is have something better than what you have right now. That's the idea.
Interesting. So let's talk about, since we're talking about that, let's talk about the about section. I think that's very important. That's what you are actually referring to. So what are some of the, key things or key elements that people should highlight in the about section that's like more catchy and more kind of engaging for people?
Well, number one is make sure that you have background information. Tell people where you came from, what you've done in the past. You also want to know how people can learn more about your products and services. You want people to know who you help and how you help them. You want to make sure that you put some accomplishments that you've had in the past. I write, I published 5 books, and my books in high energy networking and high energy marketing and high energy purpose. And I tell people about that. Sometimes people recommend having a testimonial. You could also link to your other social media profiles. If you want people to visit you on Instagram, let people know that you have an Instagram and what it is. If you want people to email you, put your email in there. There's a lot of different ways that you can get people to connect with you. I like also putting my scheduling app in there. So for example, if you want to schedule a call with me, you can go to my about section on my profile, and then you can do that. The key is to break it down into a way where it's not just one blurb of text, but it's really easy to read.
But regarding the scheduling link, I heard like different views, because sometimes people are super busy and then they feel like it's not a good idea to share your scheduling link because they're gonna get overwhelmed. On the other hand, some people think it's just like if you're putting it out there, you're just making yourself so readily available for everybody. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think it's true. I think you should try to. I put my cell phone number there. People don't call me. And I have 42,000 followers or 43,000 followers. I don't have a bunch of people calling my cell bothering me. People are afraid to call. People are afraid to just use your scheduling link. You could always try it out and see how many people book meetings. You'll be surprised. No one's booking a meeting. The occasional person, if they want to book a meeting, that's what it's there for. But you're not suddenly going to get a flurry of people booking meetings with you randomly. That's just an unfounded fear that I used to have, by the way. I used to have that fear.
So how do you overcome that fear, or help people overcome that fear?
Try it.
So you're
Try it.
connecting.
Try it. If you want to overcome the fear, try it. Try to put your Calendly link on your profile and then see what happens.
Yeah, but that's the fear of us, who are putting it out there. But how about the people who are not scheduling anything with you, even after seeing the link available for them to schedule something? How can you attract them or engage with them?
Well, the key is for you to take a look and see, what do you want to accomplish with your profile? That's step number one. If you want to accomplish people booking meetings with you, then put your calendar link there. If you have a fear that people are scheduling a meeting with you and they're just going to waste your time, well, you can put qualifying questions on the scheduling link that help identify what the purpose of the meeting is. Is it for networking? Do you want to sell me something or do you want to become a client? You can have a multiple choice question. And so this way, you know why the person booked the meeting. Every time someone books a meeting with me, they tell me the reason for the meeting. And if I see that the reason for the meeting is that they want to sell me something, I just cancel the meeting. It's no big deal. It's not bad to cancel a meeting if it doesn't make sense for you. Someone books a meeting with you and it's irrelevant to you, you could just email them and say, thank you for booking the meeting. I'm canceling the meeting because it's not relevant for me. Thank you very much for trying and booking the meeting. I appreciate it. You don't have to take every meeting that somebody books. As a matter of fact, one of my coaches taught me that a renegotiated agreement is not a broken agreement. Even if you agree to meet with somebody, but then you had to renegotiate that, you're allowed to do that. People have things that change in their life. You suddenly become unavailable. That's okay. You don't even have to give a person a good reason. You just have to give them notice and let them know, hey, I see that you booked a meeting. It's not relevant. Thank you for booking it. Wishing you a good day. I canceled the meeting. That's it. You think people are even going to think twice about that? They're not. People are busy. They have their problems to deal with. So if you have that fear, no worries. Don't worry about it. Try to put in some of the strategies that I gave you, and that fear will melt away.
Exactly. Just be yourself and see what works for you. Unless you try, you don't know, which way it's gonna go. So, these days, especially in the information technology age that we are in, and social media plays a huge role in our lives.
Does.
People are making so many social media posts on daily basis. Is there any kind of a limit or any kind of minimum or maximum that one should be doing from the engagement perspective, or just like blindly posting everything and see what gets traction? So if you can shed some light on that.
My recommendation is to be posting at least once a day on LinkedIn. If you're not sure what to post, you can use AI tools like Evy AI, EVYAI.com. It'll help you write posts on your behalf. If you're not posting once a day, then you're missing out on the exposure because a post only lasts for 24 hours. So if you posted 3 weeks ago, that post died after a day. So you want to make sure that you're posting at least once a day. What should you be posting about? Well, that depends on who you're connected to. Depends on what your goal is. Depends on what you want to achieve. What it is that you want to achieve would determine what you want to put out there. And we, in our course, we teach people exactly how to be able to come up with their target market, to come up with their messaging, to create a proper content calendar. If you don't have a content calendar, then yeah, you're going to just try to throw things at the wall and hope for the best. Hope is a great thing. It's just not a great strategy. So don't just try to hope. Instead, have a proper strategy. Have a content calendar, have an asset library. Make sure that you understand what you're posting and why you're posting it, and then do it on a regular basis. If you can't post every day because it's too much, then at least commit to posting every week. If you can't post every week, at least commit to posting every month, but at least post on a regular basis because most people aren't posting at all. The majority of people on LinkedIn have never posted ever on LinkedIn.
And then is there any preference, video versus articles versus social media posts, like one gains more traction versus the other? Because I know sometimes videos does not get that much traction versus if you're putting the graphics only.
Well, it depends on what you consider traction. You either go deep or you go wide. Are you looking for views or are you looking for engagement? Are you looking for people to get to know you personally? I like recommending that people create a mix of different things that they post. So day 1, post a video. Day 2, post text only. Day 3, post a poll. Day 4, post a selfie with you and somebody else. Day 5, post a picture of your feet. Day 6, post a picture of you holding some books that you like. Day 7, post a video of you running or doing something fun. Day 8, post a screenshot. Day 9, post a picture of a Zoom meeting that you were just at. Day 10, go on LinkedIn Live. Day 11, post a picture of you on stage talking about something, and so on and so forth. I can keep going on and on and on. And we have lots of different ideas inside our course where we teach people what to do. But yes, an image is probably going to get more impressions than a video, but a video, you go deeper with people. So you want to have a combination of both. That's my recommendation.
So when you're posting these videos or articles or just a text message, the text social media posts, and then people are commenting, liking, and then you have the impressions, right? So which is more important? What should somebody be paying attention to, the more impressions? Like some people, they come, they check it out, they don't want to like it, they don't want to comment it. But when you're talking about it somewhere, somehow you hear, they'll say, oh, I saw your post, meaning they did check it out, but they didn't want to like or comment, or they were hesitant to do that. So what is your take on that? Like, which is more important, the comments or likes or just the impressions?
For me, what I recommend is making sure that you have a goal for each metric. That's the most important thing. Which one's most important depends on what your goal is. So for example, my goal is to have 1,000 impressions on every post.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to have at least a dozen engagements on every post. So 12 people that engage, whether it's likes or comments. And then what I do is I reach out to the people that engage with me. That's what I do. And that's how I build relationships. So set a goal for what you want to accomplish with each one, with each post, with each time that you share online, and then try to hit that goal. Not every single time I hit 1,000, but the poll that I posted yesterday got 3,689 impressions. The
Whoa.
selfie that I posted together with Charles got 1,256 impressions. The picture of my feet that I posted with my feet under my table in a bucket, giving people advice about how to detox their feet, got 1,800 views. The picture of me holding my books got 935 views.
Mm-hmm.
So not every single post is going to hit 1,000, but on average, my video that I posted 2 days ago about having big goals got 1,093 views. So my goal is to have 1,000 people see me 1,000 times a year. That's my goal.
That's a good goal. I'm wondering, how did you get to 40,000 followers, and what is the time frame? How long did it take you to get there? Or how did you get that many followers?
So I've been on LinkedIn for the past, I don't know, let's call it over a decade. I've been on LinkedIn using it. And in the beginning, they didn't have followers. That wasn't a thing. They only had connections. Eventually, they turned LinkedIn. Microsoft paid $26.2 billion to buy LinkedIn back in 2015, 2016. That's when they bought LinkedIn, and they converted it to a content marketing platform. And they allowed people to start posting articles, and then eventually videos, and then eventually content, and eventually all the different things that you see there, like LinkedIn Live and LinkedIn Newsletter. They came out last year. Every single time I post on LinkedIn, I get a new follower. Every single time I post on LinkedIn, I see my follower count go up. So the people that are not posting on LinkedIn, they're missing out on getting high quality followers to follow them on LinkedIn. Every single time I add a new connection, that new connection becomes a follower as well. So I have 28,000 connections. Every one of those connections are my followers. And then I have another 20,000 or so followers, because every single time I post, I get a few new followers. So my recommendation is, if you want to be able to grow your followership, don't plan on growing your followership to tens of thousands of people overnight. Do it over 10 years. Do it over a period of time where you're doing it methodically and you're actually building relationships with the people that are following you. So what I do is I send people a thank you message. Hey, thank you for following me on LinkedIn. I really appreciate it. When somebody looks at my profile, I say, thank you for checking out my profile. I really appreciate it. And I actually go ahead and I build those relationships. That's the key. The key is go ahead and build relationships with the people that are following you, that are connecting with you, and so on.
That's a great way of doing things. I seriously like it. So are you using some hashtags to gain all these followers, because they're not in your connection, but certain hashtags that people follow and they start following you?
Definitely, I use hashtags on my profile. If you want to check out all the hashtags that I use, I actually compiled a list of the top 100 hashtags of LinkedIn. You can go to hashtagspreadsheet.com. I put it on there for everyone to get. If anybody wants my hashtags, you can go to hashtagspreadsheet.com. And so I have very popular hashtags that I use. I recommend only using three to five hashtags on each post, but I definitely recommend using hashtags on posts.
So 3 to 5 is the limit, because some people, I think, like they use 10 or 20, like half of the post is like hashtags. So
I would not. Yeah, that's for Instagram. So the best posts only have 3 to 5 hashtags, and you'll see all the top influencers are using 3 to 5 hashtags.
And the other thing comes to my mind is, it's very important to connect with the right people on LinkedIn, because you get a lot of requests on daily basis. Some might be good, some might not be good, because, a lot of people try to connect with you. How do you identify, or what approach that you use to just, connect with the right people that is kind of worthwhile for you, or that's gonna enhance your business? How do you determine that?
Well, the first thing I determine is, do I know the person
Mhm.
before I actually accept the connection request? The second thing I do is, if I don't know the person, if I know the person, I'll accept their connection request. If I don't know the person, then I determine, can they do business with me? Are they a potential client?
Mhm.
If they could do business with me, great. I connect with them. If they can't do business with me, I figure out, okay, are they a fan of my content? Do they like and comment? Are they engaged on LinkedIn? If they yes, then I connect with them. If I can't do business with them, they're not a fan of my content. I don't think they could refer business to me, and it doesn't look like they have a real account. Then I'm probably not going to hit connect with them. I'm probably not going to accept it. I'm probably going to just ignore it, because I have a limited amount of connections that I could have on LinkedIn, and I don't just want people to spam me. So if it looks like a spammer, or it doesn't look like someone I could do business with, I probably won't hit connect, especially if I see that they never liked or commented anything that I did.
So you're really diligent about that. That's a good advice right there. So let's talk about your book too. You wrote this latest book, High Energy Networking. What is that all about?
I used to be afraid of networking.
Mm-hmm.
And because going through my life, I've had a lot of rejection in my life, and networking is a place where you really have to be authentic and you have to show up. And when I started networking, I was not authentic and I was afraid. And people can sense that. People don't like other people that are not authentic and that are afraid. They're hiding behind some type of persona. And kind of that's how I showed up to networking events. And I had to learn a strategy to get over my fear of public speaking, my fear of showing up, my fear of networking. And as a result of me getting over my fears, I was able to build a very successful business and learn how to network to build real relationships. So now I have so many incredible friendships and relationships because I overcame my fear. And people often ask me, Joe, how do I network? And so I wrote a book about how I overcame my fear of networking and my strategies to becoming an amazing connector.
Interesting. So can you share some secrets here with us too? Couple of them.
Yeah. So number one is figure out who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't even know who you are before you start networking, other people can't get to know you because you don't know yourself. So really figure yourself out, know what you're interested in. I always say that if you want people to be interested, you have to be interesting. So know what your hobbies are, know what your core values are, understand who you are, what you bring to the table, what your strengths are, and so on. That's number one. Number two, the second thing that you need to do is you need to have a plan. Where are you going to network? Who are you going to network with? What are you going to say to them? What are you going to do before a networking event? What are you going to do during a networking event? And what are you going to do after a networking event? So have a strategy. I like having templates ready to go. I like doing research on who's going to attend a networking event. And then the third thing I want to say is just start going to events. Start getting used to going. A lot of people are afraid of networking because they never network, because they have a bad taste in their mouth that they once went to an event and they were judging everybody. You have to start going to events and stop judging people. Know what you want to get out of it, show up, and start adding value, because the secret to living is giving. If you want to be successful in networking, make it about giving to other people. If you start making referrals for other people are going to want to start making referrals to you. That's just the law of reciprocity.
You said two very good things. Number one, you said start giving to people. And then you can only start giving to people when you know who you are. Because a lot of time people struggle. What do I give? What do I have? Because sometimes we don't even know our own inner strengths, you know. So
Yeah.
until unless you know who you are, there's no way you can give or add value to anybody else. That's a very, very important thing that you said. And I'm glad you highlighted in your book. I'm so excited to read your book. I'm going to be ordering that soon. So the next question I have in my mind is always, you know, because balance is very important in everything, right? So what is the balance for the professionals, you know, showcasing themselves on LinkedIn? So others are engaging or seeing them as a leader, or you're creating this as a thought leadership platform for yourself, like you're adding value to others, whosoever coming your way. It's just not like, you know, you're just sharing information just for the heck of sharing.
Yeah. So the balance between professional and personal, I always say that personal things you need to be sharing, but don't share private things, you know, like the details of your divorce. Don't share the details of your divorce, but do share things that are personal. You can share that you're divorced. You can share that you have a few kids. You can share that you've overcome some fears, but you don't have to get into the person. You don't have to get into the private things in your life that, you know, like what you had for breakfast, or if you have a sickness or something, you don't have to get into the details of that. The key is to keep a private life, remain professional, but do share personal things, because for people to do business with you, they have to know you, like you, and trust you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. So You don't want people to like totally ignore you. You want them to know you, like you, and trust you. In order for you to be successful, that's really where you have to begin. And that means you need to share of yourself.
But isn't that people already sharing, like what did they eat for lunch or breakfast? I see that on the social media many times, like
On
somebody's sick,
Instagram,
they are seeking
yes.
for
On Instagram, on Facebook, that's what people are sharing on those types of
right.
websites. But on LinkedIn, you don't see people sharing what they had for breakfast. You don't
Mm,
see them just sharing for the sake of sharing. They're being more intentional because LinkedIn is a professional platform, a place where people come together to build relationships. It's almost like a trade show, I would say. That's what
mhm.
LinkedIn is versus Instagram is more like a barbecue.
So, what are some of the common mistakes that professionals should avoid in order to optimize their LinkedIn profile, since we're talking about LinkedIn only?
If you go on LinkedIn and you don't network, but instead you're selling, that's a
Mhm,
huge mistake. You don't
mhm,
want to be selling on LinkedIn. Instead, you want to be building relationships. Realize that nobody goes onto LinkedIn to start buying things. They go
mhm,
onto LinkedIn to connect and to build a relationship. So selling on LinkedIn, just telling people, hey, would you like to buy my web design product? Would you like to buy my services? Would you like to buy my real estate? That's not something that people are excited about. That's not something that people want to engage in. But if you say, hey, I'd love to build a relationship with you. Who do you want to meet? Or how can I make a difference in your life today? Yeah, that people are very into that. So that's number one. Number two is be brief. Too many people, they vomit. They show up and throw up. You don't want to show up and throw up. Instead, you want to connect with people. And that means be very brief in your communication. Share in short paragraphs, in short sentences. Too long didn't read. Don't share too much. And like if you're sending somebody a direct message, don't send a really long direct message because 58% of people are looking at this from their cell phone. So make sure not to overshare. And then the third thing is be professional. Don't just send a message that somebody says hi, all in lowercase. That's just not professional. That's you're wasting other people's time. On LinkedIn, because it's a professional business platform, it's a place where people connect and they build relationships. It's not a place for you to be unprofessional. Don't waste people's time because business professionals are often very busy. So make sure that you consider not wasting people's times, not selling, and not sending things that are way too long.
Right. So share with me one example, the some post that you saw, it was like really funny for LinkedIn, or people are posting like mostly as a sales pitch, their posts are. So how do you create a post that's like more kind of relationship building or engaging versus like a sales pitch?
I tell our students inside our course, tell a story. And we have lots of different tools that teach people how to tell stories. We had a client that was just posting stuff that got no traction. He was
Mm-hmm.
just posting about his business. This is what I wrote this morning. I said, my uncle called me up and asked me, Joe, I've been in business for 30 years and it's never been harder to find sales reps. How do I find them? I asked him what he tried doing. He said he Googled reps. Nothing. He didn't found anything. I asked him if he considered using LinkedIn to find qualified leads. He said he's heard of LinkedIn, but he's not sure how to use LinkedIn. I told him that there are 930 million people on LinkedIn, and it's one of the best ways to find qualified employees on almost any role. I said, I can't believe he doesn't even have a LinkedIn account. He was shocked, and he said he's going to give LinkedIn a try. The
Mm-hmm.
first step, I told him, is to create a LinkedIn profile, and that profile to create, and then create a LinkedIn company page, and then create a job ad, and then promote the job ad. That's going to help drive people to apply for the position. So I
Mm-hmm.
basically wrote a whole story about that, and almost 1,000 people saw it, and over a dozen people liked it and commented on it. Very powerful to be able to see how many people engaged with that. And it was only text. It was text only. I didn't include an image. I didn't include anything. And so telling stories like that can be really beneficial, especially if you're trying to sell something. Don't sell directly, but instead spell it out. Tell a story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people resonate with stories. I like that. And then AI is now like a new thing, right? And is kind of reshaping a lot of social media. How I just wonder what social media is going to look like and how AI is going to play a big role. So, what do you see up in the horizon from the AI perspective? I know we do not have much time, and we'll have another episode just dedicated to AI only. But if you can share, since you have this Avi platform that you have created, so if you can share a little bit with me at this time, and then we'll spin it off another episode on that.
Of course. So Evy AI, EVYAI.com is a application. It's a LinkedIn assistant that helps people create comments, create posts, write direct messages, send custom connection requests, optimize your profile, and leave recommendations for other people. It's a really smart artificial intelligence assistant that helps you be able to do things faster on LinkedIn. A lot of business professionals don't have the time to leave comments. I recommend leaving 10 to 15 comments on people's posts every single day. Well, you don't have the time to leave 10 or 15 comments unless you're using a tool that's like an artificial intelligence tool that does it for you, especially if the comment is extremely relevant, because every comment is like a salesperson putting you out there, giving you exposure, building credibility for you. Every time you post on LinkedIn, it's like you have an ambassador promoting you. So if you're not doing those things, then you're really, really missing out. So I highly recommend posting, engaging, and messaging on LinkedIn.
Great. I love that. We are out of time, Joe, but I would like to ask you one more golden nugget for my audience. It's not like that you didn't give us enough golden nugget, but one more.
Well, one more golden nugget is realize that if you don't reach out to your target market, they're not automatically going to come to you. They say if you build it, they will come. Wrong. If you build it, they will not come. You need to market yourself. You got to put yourself out there. That's how people are going to come, and that's how you're going to build your business.
That's true. I love that. It's all about you. You can create your own world around yourself. So this brings us to our rapid fire round. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. You have to answer in 1 word or 1 sentence only. Are you ready?
I am ready. Let's go.
Okay. So what is one of the most important things that you have learned in your life, and how did your life change after learning it?
One of the most important things I learned in my life is to read books, hire mentors, and take courses. Because if you don't grow, you're not going to be able to grow your business. You can only grow your business as much as you grow yourself.
I love that. So share with me one of the best books that you have read, liked it, and recommend to my audience.
How to Win Friends and Influence People. That is an amazing, amazing book. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. If you're not reading those books, you're really missing out. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Very powerful book. Getting Things Done by David Allen. The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. I can keep going on and on. You asked me for one, but I gave you a bunch.
No, but these are just the good books. I would say the best books that you have named it, because these are the books like going to school, just starting from the kindergarten for your marketing. These are the basic books that everybody should read or should have in their bookcase. So in 1 word, what does life mean to you?
Love.
I like that. What is your biggest passion?
Helping people.
That's a good one. If you could turn back in time and talk to your younger self, what would you tell yourself and why?
I would tell myself, love yourself more than anyone could possibly love you. Accept yourself, because if you want to be there for other people, you need to be there for yourself first. Charity starts at home.
That's true. Glass has to be full, right, in order to give it to others. That's awesome. So how can people reach out to you, Joe?
The best way for you to connect with me is to go to joelinkedin.com. That's JOE LinkedIn.com. And you can find all my contact information on my LinkedIn profile, including access to my AI tool, EVYAI.com.
Thanks, Joe. It was so wonderful to see you here today, and I look forward to another episode on AI with you soon.
Thank you for having me here. Appreciate you. We'll talk again soon.